Hey y'all, thanks for stopping by. So, yesterday on Capitol Hill, we had 11 arrests happen. Now, none of them were elected officials or legislators. It was this group called Code Pink. They're an anti war group, and they were protesting Bernie Sanders in his office because, he's agreed to send aid to Ukraine in their war effort. And they want to negotiate peace as peacefully as possible. Stop the fighting by any means necessary, but we got to stop sending weapons. We got to stop funding it because that puts the onus on us. Now it's our fault that they're fighting. And they were arrested because of a DC code about obstruction. I think the word that they use specifically in the law is incommoding. It basically just means inconveniencing. I'm assuming it's because they were in his office, probably keeping him from his desk or actually like walking into it. But it wasn't because they were protesting. There are going to be some people who tell you that, but no, it was because of where they were doing it, not because they were doing it. Anyway, they got let out pretty quick. It's a misdemeanor charge. Just going to have to show up for court for it, basically. Probably not even going to serve any jail time. But they were greeted by Marjorie Taylor Greene, who held herself a little anti-war rally, where the tone was, and the signs are all, Ukraine's not the 51st state. We got to stop sending them so much money. We got Americans with our own problems over here. Despite the fact that Republicans want to cut Medicaid and welfare and anyway, I feel like they see themselves as Vietnam era protesters. This is a war of American imperialism. We're funding children being sent to their deaths by the hands of other children, and we should put a stop to this. We should stop, just pull everybody home. And I would agree that they remind me of anti-war protesters from the past, but further back than that, around the World War II era, we had protests in America and England that were basically the same tone. You know, Hitler hasn't attacked us yet. Why should we involve ourselves with their problems? We have our own stuff to worry about here. And before anybody gets up in arms, I'm not trying to say Hitler and Putin are the same. I know that both of these countries have far right contingencies and battalions that are actively in combat right now. I wouldn't deny that by any stretch. I look at this as a problem with it's a theft problem. If you saw somebody who was getting robbed, who do you think is in the right? Like, who do you think is doing the wrong thing in that situation? I'm not saying you have to help anybody, but if somebody was demanding someone else's property, I'm assuming that you think that the thief shouldn't do that. It's not oh, just give him what he's asking for so he doesn't hurt you thing. At the end of the day, you think the thief is wrong. You wouldn't negotiate with that thief so he only takes some of what he's asking for and not everything. So why do you do that with countries? I don't like the idea of borders, to be honest with you. I think it's silly. I think we should all kind of be cooperative together. But everybody else agrees with borders. Well, all the people in power agree with borders. So if someone else is trying to take from another country, just force them to give up lands, resources, people, culture, whatever, why is that any different from just stealing from a person? Why do you think that the negotiation should be on the person who's being attacked? That doesn't make sense to me. And don't get me wrong, I know it's a lot of money that we've sent over there. Whether it's in equipment or financial aid, it's a lot. But it's not as much as some of these people would lead you to believe. Yesterday I talked to someone who said in the last aid package we sent them $75 billion. When over the course of the entire war, we've sent them around 50 billion. Which, don't get me wrong, a lot of money, but it's not 50 billion in each aid package. It's 50 billion over the course of feels like about 2 years now, right? A lot of money, but still not as much as these people would have you believe. But they say that because they know it sounds scary, and most people aren't even going to bother looking it up. They just want to put fear into your heart so you agree with their stance, even though it goes against your morality. I don't know. I hope if you had any sort of conflicting beliefs before watching this. You kind of understand this as a theft issue and less of a war issue. I would also like it to stop without further bloodshed, but I don't think that would happen, in my opinion, unless Russia just leaves. Go back to your own place. Stop trying to take other people's countries. That would be fine. That's how this ends peacefully. But I don't think that it didn't happen at the start. Putin obviously invaded without, considering that. So I don't know. I think the anti-war stance is a little dumb, obviously. Maybe you think different. But I guess until we get more information about it, y'all try to have a good day.